Mikey, look what came in the mail today.
You want to check it out? Alright, cool. Let's open it up.
What's up everybody, Jay Zombie here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Retro Freak's latest console with this unboxing. Just got this in a couple days ago. And it's a new limited edition console. It is themed after the Mega Drive, and it comes with converter or the cart that plays Sega Master System and Game Gear games. So anyway, I thought we'd open it up, take a look, check it out. Alright, we first crack the lid. We got a little warranty card, instruction card, something along those lines. The first flap, we've got our controller, very similar to a SNES controller. Tape seems to be getting the better of me. Alright, now that my puppy dog is no longer thirsty, back to this controller. It does feel a little cheap, D-pad, kind of mushy. It's got the L&R buttons like a SNES controller. A few buttons here. I felt worse. So we got a little power cable. Here's the gear converter. It actually has quite a bit of weight to it. Nice. And here's the console itself. Cartridge slots. So it's got a little bit of weight to it. Here's the back piece where everything happens. HDMI, SD, power supply, power on off. And I also have a Sega Genesis, original model Sega Genesis here to compare for on size, but to also see the color. It's maybe hard to tell in the video, but it is off just a little bit. I wonder if that's because they couldn't exactly use the same color, or it is just off a little bit. In any event, I do like this a lot better than the white one that they had, and I think it's worth it for the gear converter to plays the extra games versus just the original model that comes with an adapter to use your original controllers. So here it is all laid out, but let's go hook this up, take a look at it, and test out a few games. Alright, so now we got the Retro Freak set up, and I got a small selection of games that we're going to look at today and check out some of the features that this system has to offer. First up, we'll check out a Famicom game. As you can see, most of them load very fast, and it's going to ask me if I want to install it to my hard drive or my SD card. I'm going to say no, because there's one cool feature that I like about this console. If you come down to the system settings, it'll ask you if you want to turn on or off auto start cartridge on insertion. I have it off now, but if I turn it on, it's going to be like really putting a cartridge in a console, and it's just going to boot up automatically. So upon loading a game up, there is a home button on the controller, and a cool feature I found is that you can play with the filters and the scan lines in real time. Like I have it set to Super Eagle now. I can have no filter, just close the screen, and then it goes back. Or if I decided I wanted to turn scan lines on, simply turn it on, close the screen, and now I have my scan lines. Next up, we're going to check out Sun Sun 2 on PC Engine. This is one of my favorite features of the system. So if I go down here to game settings, it's going to let me select an English patch. You've seen the little option at the bottom telling me, or the little message at the bottom of me telling the patch is loaded. Unfortunately, it does take a minute to get through this until you actually see some English that's not already in game. And through the power of video editing, here you go. Alright, next we're going to take a look at a Game Boy game, Skate or Die, Bad and Rad. Game Boy games feature quite a few cool settings, or quite a few colors in the settings, I should say. Red, yellow, auto, the original Game Boy, original Game Boy Advance SP, blue, brown, dark brown, dark green, grayscale, green, inverted, orange, pastel mix, which is currently what I have this on right now. This is an awesome little Game Boy game. It's like a skateboarding platformer. Nobody talks about it, and I do think it's a blast. Even though I kind of suck at it. So the only bad thing about this is to change the color, you actually have to quit out of the game, go back to the main menu, choose a different color. We'll go with the original Game Boy, and then start it up again. Yeah. And then I also really like just the grayscale. Oh. And last but not least, we'll look at the Retro Freak Gear Converter. Plugs into the Sega Genesis cartridge slot. And I got a couple Game Gear games we'll take a look at. Sonic Drift 2 and Outrun Europa. Outrun Europa is a little interesting. And I will mention, you will get this error quite often if your game carts aren't clean. It's telling me this cartridge is not recognized by the Retro Freak. Typically it's because the contacts on your game need to be cleaned. So it's going to ask me if I want to attempt to run it. I'm going to say no because it's probably not going to run anyway. I'm going to go clean it and I'll be right back. Alright, now you can see Sonic Drift 2 has been loaded up and is ready to go. This is probably one of the coolest things, or at least one of my favorite things about the Retro Freak, is being able to play Game Gear and Game Boy games on a big screen. Now I know you can do this on PC or any kind of other emulation thing, but as a collector I really like to be able to use the carts. And as you can see, everything works as it should. I really have no problems with the emulation of anything on here. I think it all runs well. Granted, Game Gear games do tend to be a little more pixelated. Some of the filters and scaling can minimize that. And I want to take a look at one more game, just because I have thrown a lot of stuff at this system so far, and this is the only thing I've run into that's weird or doesn't perform well. And the last thing we're going to look at today is Outrun Europa. Alright, I don't know if you can see the screenshot up there, but it already doesn't quite look right. So let's go ahead, play. See, something, this is the only game I found so far in testing probably 40 or 50 different games that I've had a problem with as far as the emulation goes. I don't know if it's my cart itself or the ROM file itself, you know, maybe something's wrong with my cartridge. But the last time I played it, like on the good old Game Gear, it certainly played a little different than this. With all that being said, I think this is a phenomenal system. I really do love the style of the console, being like the Mega Drive inspired thing. It looks a lot better to me than the white one. It's a little more pleasing to the eye, and I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. I love being able to just pop this onto my HD TV, throw in practically any game I want. So what do you guys think about the Retro Freak? Let me know down in the comments below. I know the system itself hasn't been around, or has been around for a few years, but this particular model is a limited edition model that just came out in January 2019. I picked this up on PlayAsian. I'll leave the link down in the description below. I know these aren't going to be for everybody, as it's an emulation based console. I mean, I still enjoy playing my stuff on original hardware that I have hooked up in my game room, but this is a high convenience factor. I mean, it's just plug and play, simple to set up, small, easy to take with you wherever you go, and it's a nice way to store your game collection, play it anywhere you want, quick and easy. So those are just my random ramblings on the Retro Freak, but I appreciate you watching. Thank you. Pick up a controller and take it easy.